This is the story of a brother who slept and woke up in Foreverland. He took a walk around the city and saw this brick house with a small door. Walked into the room and saw a man in white. Must be an angel, so he said. Mr. Angel, I'm a stranger, don't know what's going on.
Hello, quite a delight to be here on Delta Television, the People's Pride. The program, as you know, is Book2ART. Yes, where we showcase great talents. Yes, if you're an author, you're an artist, or even if you are a sculptor, you can grace our moment here on Book2ART. But today we'll be taking on a very special book. This has to do with I Leap on the Wings of God's Love. Who is the author? What is it about her? Why this book? So much for you on the profile. We'll be back in a moment. Lady Patience Ogbewe hails from Ogbewe in Isoko North Local Government Area. Lady Patience has a bachelor's degree in English and Literature with the University of Benin, Edo State, Masters of Education, Guidance and Counseling, University of Benin, Edo State, and Postgraduate Diploma in Education. Some of her area of expertise includes sustainable human economic development, children, youth program, community development. She has coordinated 15 notable successful programs such as the UNDP 4th and 5th program circles, small and medium enterprises, mass literacy, women development, National Statistical Information System, NEWMAP, European Union Micro-Project Program in 9 states of Niger Delta, World Bank Assisted NG COVID-19 Action Recovery Economic Stimulus CARES Program, Delta State, and still counting. Lady Patience Ogbewe has served professionally in different capacities vis-a-vis Teacher, Post-Primary Education Board, Director, Ministry of Finance, Overseas Development Assistance Department. She bagged the Woman of the Year Excellence Award by Lamplight News, November 2015. Excellence Media Award of Most Outstanding Director 2015 by Frontline News Media. Best Director of the Year by Global Peace Mission. Lady Patience is a focused, prolific youth and women motivational speaker. A certification includes Certificate Course and PMBOK, Professional Project Management Ghana, Training on Special Economic Zones and Competitive Clusters, Civil Service College, Singapore, Leadership Training Course, REPA International, London, United Kingdom, Project Monitoring and Evaluation, REPA International, United Kingdom, London. Are recipients of various awards. She has anchored Feminine Fair, a TV magazine program for women. She worked at the Ministry of Economic Planning as an outstanding director before a current position as a state coordinator, World Bank Assisted Delta CARES Program, and head of the DCARES State Coordinating Units. She is a member of notable professional bodies, Fellow, African Institute of Strategic Managers, Associate Member, Project Management Institution, Fellow, Institute of Human and National Resources. A literary work, I Leap on the Wings of God's Love. Lady Patience reflects on her life, challenges, and the help of God and the companion of the Holy Spirit to leap over every challenge and come out on top. An amazing woman with a very tall curriculum vitae, but not exhaustive in this contest, Lady Patience Ogbewe is grateful to God for the gift of her amazing children and grandchildren. She lives in Nigeria with her amazing husband, Reverend Canon Leslie Ogbewe, who has been an inspiration in the fulfillment of her dreams. She believes no challenge is insurmountable with God on your side. Wow, that's a very tall profile if you ask me. When I was putting that together, I said to myself, what am I going to put here? What should I take out? That profile is really tall, and this is because this woman we have in here is an amazing woman. She's been through thick and thin, and she's still waxing stronger. Well, without God, what will it be? Nothing. Let's meet our guest. Pleasure to have you, Ma.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure too.
Permit me to patronize you with the Ma.
No problem.
Because it's not easy at all. Looking at you and your profile, oh God. It's something. It's something.
Say that again, yeah.
And I want to believe that this is what this book is all about. So my thinking, I leap on the wings of God's love. By the way, I love this book. I love the packaging of this book. It's very unique. It's very colorful. It's something you'd want to go through again and again. But looking at the packaging of this book, I want to ask you, how did you put this together in the first place?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I'm humbled by all the accolades, all that you've been saying concerning me. In fact, I was amazed when the whole thing was reeling out. As a matter of fact, this book was actually put together to celebrate womanhood, as it were. Again, I want to talk about the girl child, because if you go through the thematic areas of this book, generally what runs through it is how a young lady came out through thick and thin to be what she is today. And this book is to help the woman or women generally have confidence in themselves, is impacted on womanhood. And I believe that by the time you go through this book, you will be encouraged and you will be motivated to know that being a woman is not a disadvantage. In fact, it's a plus. And if you are able to hold a fort against all odds, nothing can stop you from being what you want to be in your generation.
Amazing. That's encouraging. I mean, you cannot succeed without God. That's what I'd always say. So anything you have in your mind, whatever you want to do, God should be in the picture of it. And trust me, you will stand tall. Now, I've been searching my mental files on, people going into writing, professionals going into writing, professionals of different fields. Before you know it, they are authors. Now, what's your take on it? Why do they take to writing, as it were? Sometimes it's about themselves, sometimes it's about the environment, and what's his passion craze for writing for our professionals of different fields? In just a nutshell.
In a nutshell, actually, writing has to do with a motivation, and motivation born out of experience. Sometimes people just sit down and say, okay, let me live life through whatever life gives to me, let me just take it. But at a point in time, you find that you may have also learned from the lives of other people, their write-ups and so on. And so you decide, okay, you put pen to paper to let others coming behind me also know what I went through. Because generally, life is like a box, as it were. Your lifestyle, or rather your experiences may be different from mine. But again, there are some people there whose lifestyle are kind of connected. And so when you write, it helps people to put themselves in perspective and know that this path may not have been okay, but if you are able to redirect, you may improve. So that is actually the reason why people put pen to paper to write something.
Well, that's quite exhaustive. Let's look at the book itself. This book, we do know it's how many page book? It's a 64 page book, and it has 14 chapters. Now, how long did it take you to put this book together?
Actually,
Months, years?
looking at the book, it looks slim or whatever, but actually took me about a year to put this book together.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the content. It's not about how
Oh yeah, I know.
And the passion is,
That's
you know,
true.
it's sent to others.
Yeah.
Now, it's 1 year.
Yeah.
You said 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year.
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Now, was it a difficult experience, you know, putting it together?
Putting the book together?
The making of I Leap on the Wings of God's Love. Was it really difficult?
Okay.
What was the experience like?
Yeah. The thoughts were not actually difficult. The thoughts just came railing in, and they were all there. And the difficult aspect was the timing.
Okay.
Because then I was working full time. In fact, I was working extra time. My job involved closing very late, and of course, one is actually tired by the time you get back home. And so I find myself working through the night to put this book together. So that is the aspect that was difficult. But generally, the experience is there.
Do we say time management?
I try to manage the time, but there's no way I would have kind of mingled putting this book together in the daytime with the kind of job I was doing. Basically field jobs and interacting with development partners, you know, outside. You don't even have your own time, because they determine the time they speak with you, the time you work with them. Also working with your bosses down here, it wasn't easy, but at night time I try my best to at least do something. So it was gradual. Yeah.
I Leap on the Wings of God's Love. What informed this title?
Yeah.
What informed it?
Okay, thank you so much. I Leap. The picture you get from I Leap is some, actually, you can see what's happening here.
Yes, she's actually
somebody
leaping.
jumping. You could choose to crawl as a person. You could choose to just be immobile, I mean stay in one place. You could choose to run. But when you are leaping, you know you are coming from one position to another in a stronger force, with a stronger force, as it were. And that's exactly what happened in this book, because circumstances and experience that I may have passed through. But if you look at the book, at the beginning I talked about love. I talked about the fact that my foundation was fine, and based on love I had everything I needed too, but not necessarily financially, but everything that a man or a woman would need to be able to feel comfortable in his or environment was made available. But as the years went by, you understand, things began to happen. Of course, the experience you have as a youth may be different from the experience you have as a wife. Maybe experience different from the experience you may have as a worker in your career. The challenges you found in your career. I had my career challenges, and each step of the way, every time I overcome some, I felt I was leaping. Bringing up children, that was another one. Then your own personal experiences, incidents that will happen to you. And I sat down one day and I looked back and I said, Lord, you have taken me through these processes. I was not just running, I actually leapt over all my challenges, and I give God all the glory.
Wow. You know, I didn't want you to stop. And my eyes are actually getting a bit wet, because I know what it's like to go through challenges. And then trying to be a good mother, trying to be a good wife, trying to be a very good professional, that career woman, trying to coordinate staff together is a whole lot of activities. And now having challenges in between pockets of it can actually destabilize one, but I did say the God word is always ultimate. Now let's look at page 42 of this book, and we're looking at chapter 9 of this book, page 42, and there we have chapter 9. I want to believe that the title of this chapter is not coincidence, because this chapter has Patience as his title. Okay, now before you say anything, let me get into your literary work with a piece of my own read. Now, I'll read. Your name is Patience. People often say, what is in a name? I believe names are important. As a young child, my nickname was Dada. That was what my family members called me, and there is a story behind it. When I was born, after 14 years of waiting, I was a precious child to my parents. I was quite hairy, and whenever my mother tried to comb my hair, it was quite difficult because the hair was full and thick, and I would cry from the pain of having the hair combed. Within a short period, the hair would be all twisted and kinky again. Some people now convince my parents that I was a Nazarene and my hair was allowed to grow without combing. I then had natural dreadlocks, which is known locally as Dada. So Dada became my name, sort of, and everyone called me Dada. When I was 6 years old, I told my mother I was tired of the dreadlocks and I requested to have it cut. The hair was cut, but the name stuck. And now, fast forward, I am not in any way trying to imply that your name is necessarily your destiny, but this has been my experience. God has been so gracious to me that my reality is my name, and vice versa. How will you connect with this?
Actually,
I never knew you were Dada. I never knew you had dreads. We are special people.
I just use the terms that are applicable.
So you had dreadlocks, natural dreads.
Somehow.
You're special woman.
Patience. I won't call this chapter a coincidence though.
Okay.
Something that happened over time. Well, the background of my names, also known as it were, that just is a kind of intro to my name, Patience. Actually, it's a name I'm proud of now. Before now, it was something like, I was like, oh, Pat is my name. I could just short it into IP or whatever.
Okay.
Because in my time, when you call people Patience, there was a period when I was now getting more matured, they say, oh, the patient dog no longer is the fattest bone. Those kind of things. So you change your name.
They tell you why Patience, you're going slow.
Then,
slow for you.
My life happened to me. Like in this book, page 43, I say several things happened to make me know my name. Patience was significant. One day I took it to the Lord in prayer and I asked, what name do you call me? And the Lord said to me, your name is Patience. I needed to be patient. Because at a point I began to ask questions. Like, why are these things happening, Lord? Why is it that I put in a request for some things and it's like, it's not going through? Why is it that, because as we progress, I'm sure I'll have the opportunity to say one or two things that happened to me in life. And the Lord settled that for me. And since then, when I changed my name, it was purposeful. I was no longer shortening my name, and if it wasn't, my name is Patience. And it's been working for me, locally and internationally. It's a name that I'm proud of, and of course, people do admire. A child that was born 14 years after the first child. Certainly the father has a reason to give that child Patience. And do I throw that name away? So I had to leave that name in my life. And I'm glad and I'm proud about that.
Well, so emotional, however it is. And we have the fastest 25 minutes on television. And so we'll be running off at this moment. I want you to, as we're running off, I want you to speak on Love Foundation. I wanted to speak on a family and marriage, just in a nutshell, and then how does food for the stomach and darkness into like resonate with you? So just a bit of everything as we're actually running out.
So much of this, Well, family and marriage is a passionate topic for me because family is actually the foundation, the bedrock of a society.
Okay.
Yeah. A disgruntled family brings about disgruntled personalities. And I want to use this opportunity to encourage men and women, married people, to work on their marriages. No marriage is rosy. Married on the bed of roses, but you have to put in your best. It's unfortunate that sometimes some of these marriages become physical, and you may need to save your life. But in the absence of all those, I think we should be able to lay foundations of love in our homes. If you go through the book, you see some of the things that has made me who I am today. The patience, the patient wait of my parents, the love they had. My father didn't have to go out to source for another woman until I came. Wow. You understand? Yeah,
14 years.
14 years. Some men will go out and get married to. And the whole is disorganized, and okay, there are a lot of things that happen. Look at what's happening in society today. The children that are going into what they call it now, the kidnapping, Yahoo,
yes. Trying to kill their parents,
419, trying to kill parents to make money. Patience is the word. Patience is actually a virtue. Until I realized that you are not born today and you begin to walk or begin to run. You need to crawl. From crawling you run, and probably in the midst of running you leap.
Obviously.
In
the midst of running
you can
That's
leap.
the whole idea.
It takes some time to do that. So this book was actually born out of the passion to be able to impact on generations, to know that Rome was not actually built in a day. It's a gradual process.
Obviously, it's a delight to have you here, and we want to have you again and again. I want to believe that this is just the beginning, because more will come from where this is coming from.
I pray.
Thank you so much for being part of the program. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Being taken on Lady Patience Ogbewe on a beautiful book, I Leap on the Wings of God's Love, telling us the import of this book and why this book. Well then, that is about it on the program today. We appreciate you for coming on, and would like to have you again and again. Alright, more on Book to Art on Wednesday next at 10:30. To be part of it. This is your very own Jill Wilton. Bye-bye.